Good morning. It's Saturday. Well, it's Saturday on my. Well, I guess it's Saturday in everybody's part of the world. No, I guess that's not true. Some places it's Sunday, and maybe somewhere it's Friday. I don't know. I don't know where everything goes. There's not always a day before place. I don't think, depending on where you are in the world. Some places you're always the next day, and some places you're always the day before. And is there even a 2 day gap? I don't even know if there's even a 2 day gap. It may only be there's today and there's tomorrow places. I think. And it also depends on the time of day, I think. Because it's like up to 24 hours, right? There's only 24 time zones. Is that right? Maybe there's more. So it could be, depending on the time of day, I suppose it could be yesterday in some places. In others, I don't know. I digress. I get off track. No, I just don't mind me. Gotta fix my title. Yeah. I don't know how they do it. All right, sorry about that. I figured I better fix my title before people start showing up thinking I'm playing Marvel Snap or something else. Which I might do later, but for now I just wanted to try to finish this character up and put some highlights on her and get her to the point where I can say, she's good enough. She's pretty dark right now, but she needs some contrast and some bits and bobs to make her look a little sharper. So bits and bobs. Don't. Bad words. Words. Inappropriate words rhyme with bits. So. Though it is a thing that, in fact, probably might need a little highlight there too. She's not. I don't have very many minis that are too explicit in their design, so it's not too big of a deal. But even so, female characters, somebody was talking about that the other day. What was I was watching some podcaster and Endymion, something like that. Anyway, he's got a pretty strong opinion about all the woke stuff that goes on in the gaming industry, and definitely not for it. And to a lot of, I gotta be honest, to some extent, I agree with him. I think a lot of it gets a little carried away. It's too much. It's too much expectation of balance. I mean, I get it that people want to see a little bit of their self in every game, right? But no, I don't think everybody does. I just think every group or every person, because there's so many types of people, right? Every type of person, personality wise, belief wise, desire wise, all that stuff. And I think that it is true that some want to see a person like themselves in a game, which I'm not sure why. I personally don't. I mean, I play male characters all the time, and none of them look like me. And I don't think I necessarily would want them to. I mean, it's like why? I think you know these dudes who are in games are usually a lot stronger. Now, granted, games are becoming much more. Um, what's the word? I want to say inclusive. Oopsie, I got this too close to my head. This is the problem with trying to make it friendly to. Alexa, turn on Dynamic Duo.
You can also use timers to turn your lights on or off when you want. Just say, Alexa, turn on the lights in 30 minutes.
I could say that, or I could just tell you to turn on what I want when I want it. So I think it's true to a point that we don't really need every game, every inclusion of every person in the world. Okay, there's so many types of people. If you really think about it, how many races are there out there? And how many gender types, unfortunately. But there's so many. And it's like, why do we have to include every single one in every single game? I don't get it. It's like movies, right? If you live in China, of course it should have mostly Chinese people. That's what they've got. That's their actor base. People can't get mad because there's not a black person in a Chinese movie or a Russian person in a Australian movie. I mean, it's like why are people so determined to have every group of people? If you've got a show about 5 friends, the odds are in this world, in the reality of this world, no matter how well mixed you think the world is, most groups, probably 80% of groups that are friends of 5 or more, 5, let's say 5 or less, they maybe have, it's probably majority male or female. It's probably majority one race. That's all there is to it. It's like you may have 1 or 2 black friends in a white group, possibly. And in a black group, you're probably going to have 1 or 2 white friends. Maybe. I mean, maybe not. And in fact, I think it's highly likely that you don't have any in that group. And the expectation of a TV show or movie to always say, hey, well, how come there's no blacks and there's no whites and there's no Asians and there's no Australians and there's no British people and there's no Hispanic people. It's like, that's just not how friend groups work. It's just, they don't exist that way. It's very rare that you've got a perfectly, I mean, and that's not the point of a show. You find the best actors, actresses, people that you can get into the job and that fit, and they all have chemistry together, and then you try to build your show around that. And it's got to be so hard. I honestly feel for producers and such in Hollywood now because they're trying so hard to please everybody with that nonsense. And I was like, this is stupid. Just make a show. I mean, I would rather you just make a good movie, a good TV show, and I don't care who's in it. They don't have to look like me. They don't have to act like me. They don't have to act like anybody that I know because they wouldn't. Always Sunny in Cleveland, or no, it's or something, whatever that show is, stupid show. I want to say it's Always Sunny in. I always want to say Southern California because of the TV show, but there's a but it's that one that's been running for like 10 years or whatever it is, and or more. And the actors and stuff are kind of funny, but you wouldn't want to be any of those people anyway. What's it matter? Now they are, I think, actually all white. You got Danny DeVito in it. I don't remember the other people's names, but um, nobody wants to be those characters. I mean, some people are those characters, but nobody would admit it. Oh yeah, I'm an idiot too. But so probably nobody complains about the with those kind of shows. Probably nobody complains about the inclusion of other people in it, other races, simply because these are all like. And to be honest, if it was made up of a bunch of non-white characters, um, people would have probably complained about it. You gotta play this race is always dumb, or this race is doing stupid things. So by doing it, it's like the only rule with the only things white characters can get away with is making fun of themselves, and everyone else can make fun of white characters, but you can't make white characters can't make fun of any other sect. Unless they're just evil characters, which I guess some shows make them out that way. But again, only white characters can be that. I mean, to pass the woke agenda. To say, okay, well, that qualifies as we're going to let that happen. To where you don't get backlash. So easy to get backlash. Video games are always trying to, you know, appease, and it's mostly American ones. The Chinese, Japanese games or whatever that make a lot of video games too. They don't do that. They partially do, and if they do, they call it out. Says, we only did that because stupid Americans or Western people want these stupid things, and we're not going to try to go out of our way for it. And I'm like, good for you. I wouldn't. I'm with you on that. It's like I just don't understand why we got to have every kind of person in every kind of game. And like Endymion, I think it's Endymion. What he was saying is, look, if they had every kind of person, if it was really realistic, female characters would not be all that physically capable. I mean, majority of them are not. Majority of women. I'm not going to say all, because there are some that are, but then again, those aren't the ones nobody wants to see. You want to see big, muscly, brutish, fighting women. Nobody wants to have that in the game, especially since that represents such a small portion of reality, right? Everybody wants to see women that are like them. And same with guys. I don't even think guys do. I really think you talk to most guys, they're like, I don't want to see me in a game. I don't even want to see me in a mirror. It's like, I really just don't think it's that common. And unless somebody's just trying to be a troll, I don't think they want to see themselves in a game. It's like, do you really think you're accomplishing anything by trolling video game companies and saying, hey, you don't have this kind of person in their game? I mean, they're probably in the back of the room going, I mean, I don't really care, but I just want you to know that I'm going to make a big deal out of it. It's like, and I probably, and then he was saying, like, he was reading responses to some of the comments and things that people were making about these other games. And the guy had no reply. He couldn't. He had nothing to say, and he blocked his account so people couldn't keep talking to him about it. I'm like, and then he goes, if you can't stand up for what you're saying, if you can't argue your points, then you probably shouldn't be making them. Because you're gonna get people who reply back. The sad thing is, it's mostly the other way, right? It's hard to argue it because you're always afraid of insulting people or being, what do they call it? Canceled. Cancel culture. It's like, I'm not worried about being canceled personally. Why? Because I don't have anything to be canceled. What? I'm going to go from, I'm going to lose my 100 followers. It's like, some of those I can't even lose. They're family, so. Family and friends, people who know me. And so I'm not worried about that. And so, yeah, I don't know. So yeah, I gotta admit, I'm kind of with him in a lot of those things. I mean, I'm probably not quite as adamant about it as he is. Uh, it's like, for me, it's like, I don't really care if that stuff's in there or not. I just don't want him to be breaking games or doing stuff, TV shows, movies, simply to pull it off. Like, they're trying to hit you with it. Like, they're trying to educate you. This is how every group of friends should be. If you don't represent one different person for every one of your friends, you're a bigot, or you're a whatever. And I'm like, I don't even know those people. How would I even meet those bizarre requirements? Okay, so I put this on, but you know what? It does highlight, it does pop, it doesn't look great. I don't know if I like that color. It doesn't really meet the reddish brown vibe that I'm trying for here. So maybe I need to add something to it. Maybe change it to a pink. I probably should have used a pink, because that would have met the reddish part of it at least. At least I'd be doing the same vibe. Maybe some ashen rose. Or, I mean, there's not really I could use rust brown, but I already have that in there as a base. Maybe rust brown with more red in it, more pink in it to highlight. That should be interesting. I'm going to try it. I mean, rust brown is red and brown. And it's one of my favorite off colors. I don't know why. I think the whole conversation he was talking about was like Pal World, and he was talking about some Tekken games that were people were complaining that I guess there wasn't enough black characters, which there was, like black character. I don't know. I didn't quite understand what the full complaint was, because it looked like it covered those things, and the actual maker designer of the game was actually coming back and going, "What are you talking about, dude? You're making these complaints and you don't even know what this game has in it, because you're wrong." And still, it's like some companies, it's like, see, that's just it. That's the fact that they would care. It's like, you design the games. Look, we designed it with the characters we felt we liked. I mean, we thought this character looked cool. We wanted to have attractive characters in the game. And he says, "Well, you saying that these people aren't attractive?" It's like, no. Just, we wanted to go with what most people, what we felt like was attractive. It really doesn't matter. Not everybody thinks everybody's attractive. And if anybody was to ever get mad because you don't think this person's attractive, I'm like, no, really, I don't. It's like, not everybody finds everybody attractive. I mean, there could be women who are, skinny, and some people like women who are not. Some people like women who are strong. Some want them soft, and then same with guys. Some don't want to see a muscly guy, or don't. It's just, everybody's level of attraction to whoever it's gonna vary. And I think game designers should just design what they want to design, and if people like it, great. If they don't, well, they can go find another game. There's a million games out there. You don't have to impress everybody. You don't have to be worried about all that. You go with the majority. If you're doing it because you think 90% of people are attracted to this, then and you think that'll sell your game, then do that. Do what's right, man. Do what works for you. Don't try to impress everybody. You can't. That's why they even have these customizable characters. But it used to be customizable characters. I think weren't even always about the the sex of gender of a person. It was just about making them. Heck, most people I think would either make their characters different in the sense that they like to make them oddballs, simply because hey, this would be interesting. A barbarian that's multi, tiny. I do that all the time, but I don't. But I still want my character not to look kind of cool if I can. And I don't know if it's a halfling thing, but I played I'm playing Baldur's Gate 3. I do like the game quite a bit. But what I don't like is my character. I just think no matter how I look at him, he's a weird looking character. He's a halfling character. He's a halfling. And I just don't know if I like him. He doesn't look cool. He just looks weird. And yes, I'm a typical guy. I think the Gith Yankee. I call her the Cranky Yankee. Can't even remember her name. Just call her the Cranky Yankee. I uh I took her out of my group because she's angry all the time and she's not that attractive. And yes, I still have Shadowheart in my group because yeah, I think she's attractive and I kind of like her. But to be honest, who of the games I've been playing, the character I like the most is I've been playing Midnight Suns, and I like what's her face? Mm, Magic. She's cool. I like her. I like her personality. I like her accent is cool. How do I get how do I get a white piece? I don't even have white on this thing. How come there's white on her vest? Sheesh. I don't know. I'm feeling like this ain't working either. I mean, it's definitely. I don't know if I want it to be more red or less red or what I'm looking for. I don't know what the solution to this thing is. I'm trying to. It's one thing about live painting. When you see people paint like on their recorded streams, the uploaded streams, they don't make mistakes. I'm like, they gotta make mistakes. I'm thinking what it is when they edit them, they go back and take all the little mistakes out. And if they don't make mistakes, well, slap them, because it's stupid. I make mistakes constantly. I'm always going back and editing. But on live, I don't really edit my videos much unless I decide to do one where I take a finished image, a finished one, and go back over it later, and do like a compressed video where it takes the entire process. And I do that sometimes. But it takes a lot of work, so I don't always do it. It has to be a model I'm particularly happy with, I guess. See, I keep doing that. Ah! Oh, that actually can hurt. Hitting my head on the camera. I don't know if there's a good way to do this. I need to do something. I need to get one of those document cameras. I have one in my my wish list slash to buy list on Amazon that hopefully can get the camera. The problem is with document cameras and cameras like that is they're not like DSLRs. They don't have the nice range where you can put it like way up here out of the way and it would just zoom in. And it's one of the problems with those kind of cameras. It's like they always have to be pretty close to their target because they just don't have I don't know if it's the light imaging or what it is. They just don't necessarily function very good in that sense. See, I don't know. I may have to do something with that. It's going to be tough. Oh, she does have like a belt buckle on. It's like, I think the problem is this approach I'm taking is just too dark. The thing is, I have to complete it so that I can, if I'm going to go darker, I can do that. I just have to do it. I have to do it light. I have to do it with this and then put whatever else I'm doing over it. Because this way it's consistent throughout the entire model. Because if I just change what I'm doing at midway point, that means something's going to be off color. She's actually got quite a bit of detail on her, this girl. I gotta fix, I got brown in places I shouldn't have brown. Let's take that out because it's bugging me. There's quite a bit of design on this piece of cloth down here, but it's so flat, it's really hard to call it out. I don't even know. I mean, I guess I should try brushing it. I don't even know if that would work. It's such a small amount. I don't know that I can get it to do anything. I think I would just be changing its color. It's so flat. It's there, you can see it, but not without, magnifying glass. I think most people just see this and think it's a flat object. It's really not. I wish I had a way to fix that, but I don't. Oh, just looks wrong. She looks okay. I haven't been, I don't know. I just don't think this is the right solution for her trim. Do I have a maybe an orange would be a better highlight. 'Cause there's so much red in it, probably be a better highlight. But I want like a, what is this orange? Martian orange. And it's a Martian orange. This is an express color. Might work because it's an express color. What that means is they're very translucent, the express colors, so they let a lot of the other color through. So I tried Fire Giant Orange, but it's too dark. It doesn't have enough highlighty effect. And problem with express colors is they're so thin, they want to wash over, so that makes them very hard to be trim colors, which is a problem in its own rank. Oh, I got a lot of reds. Thought I had a burnt orange somewhere. A lot of yellows and stuff down here. Maybe there's my oranges down here. These are just yellows and flesh colors. Look at that. Oh, that's just a natural wood, which is a yellowish brown. It's not reddish yellowish, which I think would be more of a burnt orange. So I either got to make my own burnt orange, or I got to use the express color, which I'm not sure is going to work. It's too thin. Thought about mixing it with something. I'm trying to figure out what, though. I want to mix it maybe with a brown, but all these are express colors, and I don't want to necessarily mix it with something thinner. I want it to be something that can give it some texture or some base. Okay. I have a lot of express colors. I like express colors. I don't feel like they're a trim kind of color. Let's go with that one. I'll make my burnt orange out of mahogany brown and Martian orange. And it's going to be just a tiddly whittly glue of brown. Because this is a dark brown for sure. And I don't want it to make it so dark that it's not trim anymore. It's still got to be mostly orange. I just want to brown my orange is really what I'm going for here. Something where I barely touch the board. Maybe if I can get the paint to come out. Yeah, it's definitely not dried up in there. Now this is a Reaper paint. I don't know, man. I must not have successfully unplugged it. Alright, just a diddly willy billy bit. And then we will try to add my orange, see how that works. Probably has a big bubble in there, but maybe it's just I put a lot down. See, it's almost like it's still not bright enough to be a highlight, huh? It's like it's too dark still. That brown was really brown. It did give me the nice brown orange look I'm looking for. It's just not orangey enough. Guess we'll find out how this works. Probably not like I hope, but yeah, it's just really soaking up a lot of. It's really watery. Okay, try it again. So I try to go away from the too bright approach. There we go. No, actually, I think the orange does look better. It's lighter, but yet it's still plenty of contrast, which to me is the goal. And yet, it's still. I think it helps that I put it on a light border. So I basically made it a two-step process. A light underside allows it to pop more because of the translucency of this color. I think orange just works better because it meets the brown better with the brown mixed in it. It's a little bit more, I don't know, subdued? Is that the word I'm looking for? Subdued better? Well, maybe in some cases. Plus, I don't feel like it's quite as big of a deal if I slightly miss, because the orange is not overpowering enough to like stand out against the dark brown that's around it. Providing it an opportunity to actually look more natural. Oh yeah, this is way better. Way better. It don't need to be that bright of a highlight. It's a highlight that stands out as highlights should. And I think it'll look much more natural. Now, granted, this little rope thing probably should be round. I started thinking about that because this is actually a different thing, but Alright. Yeah, I definitely like that better than the other color. The orange just works better with the reddish colors in her clothing. Now, how does that work when I don't actually have the highlight or the lighter color underneath it? I don't know. So we're gonna find out as I do it right here. Yeah, it definitely doesn't pop without the white underneath it. That's a rough effort, to be honest. Having to use a light color just to make your darker color stand out. I mean, you have to, put an underlayment. Now, I know that my stream is pretty quiet. I'm just not a big fan of the free music. What do you call it? The royalty-free streaming music that's out there. I don't know. My problem is, I guess I'm too much of a mainline guy. I like my music to be off pop channels, or even can't even say I like hip hop because I don't. I don't like a lot of hip hop. Some of it's okay, but I don't know. It's just not my thing, I guess. All right, so I should probably do something with these buckles. She's gone gold, so let's have the buckles be a little gold. I remember where I put my gold. Do any of these colors look like they could be my gold? Nope, that's not it. Problem is, once they sit on a palette like this for a long time, they separate, so you can't tell what they are. I don't know where I put it. Can't find it. So I guess I gotta pour more on. I was using my hoplite gold, but just like I say, it separates, and I can't tell on my palette anymore what color they are. Some of them you can tell, like the blues and the oranges and stuff, but even then you can't necessarily tell, is this the blue I used, or is this just a different blue that I had from using on something else? I should probably go with a smaller brush for this. Yes, I change brushes. There's so many people out there who can just paint everything with like a 1 or a 2, and I'm like, how do you do that? I can barely. I mean, there's some spots that are just too small. If you can do that with the bristle that's on the tip of your brush, that's amazing, man. If you happen to live up in the Western Washington area, we are gaming tonight again at Maltby Christian Assembly. I think doors open at 5 o'clock. We'll be doing board gaming. That's the kind of gaming we're doing. You're welcome to join us. Everybody's a welcome. This is a community thing. Though I gotta admit, it is mostly just people we know. But that's mostly because we know everybody once they've been there a few times. So you're one of those people as soon as you start showing up. It is at a church, and there are some requirements. We try to keep the language to to a the I don't know, to something you could imagine being around kids. Of course, some people don't care, cuss around their kids as much as anyone else. But in other words, just try to keep it clean. That's what we do. Just like I try to do on my stream. That kind of clean. Family friendly. All families, not just, the family that likes to cuss, but all families. I mean, really, it comes down to, when somebody says family friendly, it's really about everybody being, okay with it. And I think even people who cuss all the time and go, oh, I don't even notice it, I don't think about it, I think they do. Because those very same people are very good at not doing it, oftentimes, around people they know wouldn't like it. In which case, they know full well that they're doing it. Because they're aware of it. They say that they're not aware of it, but it's just because in certain circumstances, they don't care that they're doing it. I got like a white spot on her chest there. I'm trying to wipe it off without painting over it, because it's a pain to paint over. I think I got it. So yeah, she's very very red, but that's okay. That was kind of the goal. Have her be. I really like her eyes. Her eyes came out good. You can't see them unless you've got good vision. You can get really up close and see them because they're they're tiny. They have orange. They got pupils. They look pretty good, I think. Try one more thing with this strap. Yep, I'm not 100% happy with the strap yet either. I'm going back and forth on everything I'm doing. Keep changing the color. I won't be able to say what the people go, how did you make that color? I'm like, I don't know. Got 15 layers of different colors on there. It's like it just came out that way. This is too small for this purpose. I'm not doing a small enough area for this. There we go. Just needed it to be more like a strap, a belt, not just the red highlights. So I decided to bring it back with Wasteland Brown, which is another contrast paint. Just this piece, this strap that's going around her body, because it's a belt, and I didn't feel like it was an only highlight kind of color. And this Wasteland Brown is cool. It's one of the best colors, best browns I have. it just makes a nice like worn look. It just tends to look like a leather, worn leather. If you mix it with other colors, other contrast colors, it just gives them a look of something. It's not a smooth color, and it just gives that a worn, patchy look. Man, if you put this on like a white, it just makes the best worn leather look. I don't, not necessarily white, but you know, like a light pale color. There you go. All right, so yeah, the strap's good. Hmm. You know, only thing is I would like to do is figure out how to get the texture on her. I could try to do a dry brush, but I hate doing dry brushing. Dry brushing always looks weird. I mean, it does do its job, but it just never looks quite right to me. I don't know. Now, the question is, are these clothes supposed to be torn, or is that just the design? Like, are they raggy on the bottom, or do they have a jaggedy look on purpose? In other words, did she cut her clothes to have this jaggedy look? I would imagine it's more movement friendly to have a jaggedy look, right? Because it's gonna be more flexible. That's what I would think, right? Yeah, it just occurred to me I didn't do anything on the border of this. whole back part of her needs to be highlighted. Oh, it's gonna smack my head. I'm gonna keep smacking my head on the light. I think it's the back part I'm hitting, not the front. But that's why I just keep thinking I'm away from it. But in fact, I'm right up against it. Alright, let's go with my orangish color here. And go back on these straps and hit those ones. My brownish burnt orange color. I don't know, hopefully I'm staying in the camera. I apologize if I'm not. I'm trying to keep moving my character and my paintbrush every time I go get more paint, and sometimes I don't come back to the center. I don't know if it's going to be an all-day effort. It could just be a few hours, could just be an hour. I don't know. Not her. I'll be done with her in a little bit. I'm pretty close. But I will be moving on to something else, either another paint task or possibly another thing altogether. Maybe I'll do some video gaming or Frosthaven or something. Something, something. Just trying to get a little bit more highlighting in there. I don't know. I'm wondering if I could use this stuff and just take a chance. I'm just going over this other stuff. I decided I'm trying something new. I don't know, I'm trying to figure out how to get this stuff to pop. It's got texture on it, and I'm trying to see if there's any way to make it show its texture. Probably not. It just looks a little bit more red, but it's not really changing its overall appearance at all. Which is fine. I don't mind her being reddish, but I was just hoping to be a little bit more textury. Just looks about the same. It does, I don't know, maybe provide a little more contrast, maybe. I feel like there's something about her. What am I doing? What am I missing with her head there? Because I don't know. It's like, I think the problem is it doesn't have the same level of design under there, and it's driving me crazy. It's like her staff is like blocking out her hair, and her hair doesn't run down, and I don't know what's back there. Is that her scalp? Because her hair goes down, and it kind of, like you can't see it, but underneath here you can see it's just black because it's still primer, and I don't know what it is. I don't know what to color that. And it's even got like some gray primer under there. I don't know what to do with it. I probably should just go with something dark, so it's like at least takes away the primer look. It's probably my best bet. It could just be the bottom of her hair. I don't know. Definitely needs to be something other than what it is. Alright, at least it doesn't look, it looks less out of the ordinary now. I don't know if I have any black here. I mean, I do have black on my palette, but I'm not sure if it's usable black anymore. Right, there it is. Things are drying out a little bit on my palette. I need to put some more water in my palette. This is a very touchy zone, so I'm kind of quiet. Sorry. Yeah. I just realized I'm using both my jars here as rinse water. Probably not the best thing. I don't know if my silver has any silver in it, does it? Nope. Silver is silverless. Yeah, what the heck? This is always drying out. I mean, it's just the tip, but it just means I always have to clean it out. Just a slight touch up on my pauldron here. Little bit of black runoff. It's kind of interesting how silver or something reflective actually works. It's like you think of it as bright, but it's actually really dark when it's like when there's no when the light doesn't hit it right. It actually looks darker, making for a very interesting appearance. Then it's like, is it black? Oh no, it's not black. It's just the light's not hitting it. And then the light hits, and whack! It's bright silver and shiny. I have to fix her hair. Her hair's got junk on it that I got when I was doing these pauldrons earlier. Clean up the areas. But what I'm doing here is adding some plate mail as highlights. As highlights to my silver. I don't know if that works. I just think it'll cause some sparkly, some shiny here more in there. It's really the goal. Make that silver pop a little bit more on occasion when it's hit with the right light. You know. I really think she's about done. Done enough anyway. Done enough for me. I mean, she's not supposed to be a contest mini or anything. She's just getting her, just looking a little bit more ready to play. I like her. What else can I do on the bottom here on her base? Is there anything? Maybe pop the... Right now I just... You know what? Let's do this. See what this does. On the star. Just adding a little bit of, I guess what it comes out to is just reddish highlight on this star thing. it's one of those things where you can see it, but you can't see it unless you're right up on it. You know, it's like, oh yeah, look, that's actually it's orange. Maybe if I do more of these highlights, it'll look more like that. Let's do more. I'm not trying to make it pop necessarily. I just want it to have this. I don't know, maybe I'll add more brighter color in a minute. Once I determine for sure that I'm sticking to it. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I don't really understand these arrowy things. I think it's just design, aesthetic, but it's weird to have the engraved, or the, it's like it's not the arrow that's a shape, it's the outside border of an arrow that makes the arrow a shape. It's weird. It's just like the arrow is the whole, not the object. There you go. She's very red, but that's okay. That's the design aesthetic I went for. Now, I could probably do a little bit more gray. I need something kind of lightish gray, or even just maybe even a holy white, which is a very, it's a very gray white. Hey, Ray TV, how you doing? Paints those, you mean miniatures in general? Any particular kind of minis that he likes to paint? Oh, 40K. Ah, yeah. Oops, I guess I don't need this, but 40K. You know, that's a definitely a challenging thing to paint. Not because of the minis being hard to paint. It's just that the armies are so big. Look, I'm painting one guy. This guy has taken me. Oops, I didn't start my timer, but I think I started about. I want to say about an hour and a half ago. So about 4 hours. I mean, she's about done, but she's taken me about 4 hours. And I can't imagine doing entire armies. It takes so long, but it's cool that when people can. Did I actually put any on my thing here? Where did I put it? Where did I pour it? I don't even know what I did. I'm getting distracted on my brain. But This guy is more of a. Oh, I think I put it up there. Uh, this girl is more of a D&D character, fantasy type. 40K is like sci-fi, I think. They have a Games Workshop has another game that is actually like fantasy though. Yeah, it does go fast. But I'm just saying, if you have to do an entire army, you have to learn some pretty good painting skills to do entire armies like that. You learn to do bulk paint, and I am not a bulk painter. I've tried. I've done small armies, small groups of characters, and it just feels like it just gets painful. The closest thing I do to groups anymore is like if I have to paint three or four devils, 3 or 4 devils, or 3 or 4 monks, or not monks, kobolds or goblins or something. Where small groups of baddies. But and then even then, I can't. I don't like to paint them all the same. I'll paint them very similarly, but I always do something kind of unique for each character, and it just makes it very hard to paint. So I'm always impressed with the folks that do like 40K in the big army games, because that takes a special kind of endurance, patience. And see, like I'm about to do something here. I hope it doesn't make her clothes stand out too much. I mean, I'm trying to give her clothes some crease, but I don't want to change the overall aesthetic. It's just, I think my battery on my light is dying. So about you? I gather you're not a painter then. You say your buddy does it. So, what, you just hanging out, checking out, playing some video games? Yeah, I'm sure my light on my sure my light is dying here. It just doesn't have the brightness that I'm used to. It'll go a few hours, but I don't think I've painted it recently or charged it recently. Trying to get just enough highlights on here to make it look like there's actually creases and shape in this black outfit of hers. My wife actually wanted to watch Groundhog Day yesterday, so we sat down and watched Groundhog Day with Bill Murray. Really old. It's really old. I don't know. That show came out what, in the 90s? I don't even remember. Alexa, what year did Groundhog Day come out?
The film Groundhog Day was released on February 12, 1993.
Ooh, 93. Yeah, that's an old one. But it was a good show. Definitely one worth watching. And no, definitely didn't. I didn't mind watching it again. All right. Think. I think I'm about ready to call it. All right, I think I'm done. I'm gonna call her. I think she's about as good as she's gonna get. Um, I mean, about as good as she's gonna get by my hand. So I think you know I'm satisfied enough that she's ready to just be a figure to play with now. I'm just touching up the border base a little bit here. Making sure that I don't have any weird outstanding bits of white or something on the base. Anyway, there's my Tiefling monk, and she looks pretty good. I like her. Would I call her my best figure? Probably not. But would I call her my worst? Most definitely not. I've got some history of some pretty bad figures. No, I don't know. Maybe not ever too terrible. I tend to be a little too anal to be terrible, in that I at least stay in the lines and stuff. But just coloring. I think with at least one of my figures, I remember I did a what do you call it? A lich, and I just put too many colors, and it looked really bad. Even though it was painted okay, it just looked bad because there was just too much going on. Definitely a learning experience. That yeah, you don't need to, just because he's got 1,000 different things on them. They don't all need to be different colors. It could be. Typically, I find that one of the things I've learned is different shades of colors is better if you can do it. Uh, like if you're gonna go with a guy wearing a bunch of different gold items. Now, yeah, they may not all look identical, but man, I really cannot get her to focus. I can't get those eyes to clear focus. I don't know if it's too close to. I don't know. But ultimately, you're trying to get, just you want the variety of items to be recognized, but they just don't always need to be. Oh yeah, kind of got the eyes there. I mean, it's not perfectly clear, but I do find it's interesting how when you're looking at a figure that you're painting, they don't look that textured. I mean, you can see on here they almost look grainy, and I don't know if that's just because of the zoom effect, but she really doesn't look that grainy, even under magnification. But you can see how she looks like the paint is rough, and it really doesn't look that way. It's kind of interesting. But I don't know. Let's go ahead and add her. No, that's not the one. Wait, we're adding her as my finished product. And then I'm going to hit stop here. And I'm going to go here. And I'm going to add like another hour and 30 minutes to that. Because I don't think I started my timer. Would I call her done? I don't think there's a way to mark it as done. But so if you look at a lot of these characters that I've worked on, they all come out pretty close to the same. Well, except for the Beholder I spent 12 hours on. But the Ogre Mage I spent 4 hours, a little over 4 hours. Excellence I spent 4.5 hours. Okay, Santa and Krampus got a lot of time, but they were bigger figures, and they were kind of a special case. The Demon Monk I only spent an hour on. Well, if I recorded correctly. The Beholder, of course, I spent a lot of time on. That was a gift. It came out really cool. That was a fun one. But yeah, you know, 4 to 10 hours, depending on how much I'm really spending on effort. I've spent 32 hours on D&D minis so far, and that's just the ones I'm recording. Obviously, it's not. I don't always get my times right, and I don't always record, and I don't always have them. I have a ton of minis I've painted long before I even started using this app. So, but it's a cool app, and yeah, I don't know. I'm tempted on putting a varnish coat on, but the thing is, varnish coats can mess a little bit with your paint job. I mean, even if you use a matte one, you know, it does protect it more, but you know, it just is what it is. You just hope you don't have to worry about it. But yeah, there we go. There's Excellence. She's done. And I'm going to take a break now. I'm going to probably go eat some real food for the day. And so I don't know what I'm doing next. I don't know. Maybe I'll log back on in a bit and do some video games or something. Or maybe I'll paint some more. I don't know. Depends on what my mood hits me when it's time to come back down. It might be an hour. Maybe less. Maybe more. Just depends on what's happening. Till then, take it easy.